Tom, I have a question for you on that, because it's just a general. I'm not coaching a team this year for the first time in forever.
Okay.
Do you find, like, I'm noticing with the girls I work with that there's like, they have a tendency to get more negative more quickly as a result of COVID. Like, they think the worst more quickly than they did previous to the pandemic. Like, in the sense, like, if they were to get hurt, or if practice was to be canceled or whatever, like, they're going down the spiraled rabbit hole much more quickly than they would have previous. Like, they feel like a much larger lack of control over results. I'm just curious if you've seen that at your level, like just a change in their mental game, or more of a willingness to go to the negative.
I don't know if I've seen that so much. What I've seen is, because they missed last year, most of them, some had no season, some had a few games, the fitness level isn't near what, like, our injuries are right now. I have 17 skaters and 5 are hurt, and they get, every game I get, like, it used to be maybe one would get hurt or something. Every game I get multiple injuries, so the fitness level coming in isn't the same. That's the biggest thing I notice.
That's
we're
interesting.
Practicing last night with we've got a dozen players.
Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing here.
On with 24.
The same thing here with so many injuries, and it's interesting because I did all these workouts in my yellow garage during the pandemic, and I had so many kids doing it, especially higher level kids, and by that I mean like U15 and above, AA, who would probably do extra, but their whole team wasn't doing it. It'd be 3 or 4 kids from each team. And not only are those kids they're not getting hurt, so that's great. Like, they're not losing any game opportunities there, but they're so much further ahead. And it was interesting, because I remember when I first started doing the workouts, like, we can all use it as an excuse. Oh, we're not fit and COVID. Well, like, I was doing all this stuff in the yellow garage. Like, there's no running track. So it's just and I think that ties into the mentality. It's like, oh, it's COVID and I can't do this and I can't do that. And I get it if it's minus 30 outside, like, you're not going for a run, and not everyone can afford a Peloton. I get that. But it's interesting. You're right, Tom. Like, so even at the minor hockey level, and I don't know, Mike may be seeing it too, but the amount of injuries and not, I know we talked before about like catastrophic injuries, or like, collision injuries, like just backs and groins and hip flexors and shoulder and things that are
nagging ones.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think I saw that. I don't see it much on my team, because I had like the group of kids that I work with, like about 19, 20 kids, and all those kids had to be, we did 4 days a week of something anyway. Like, there was some kind of activity, even during COVID, just that they had to log in, do something. They didn't need a treadmill, they didn't need a bike. It would help if they did, but they had to do some kind of activity. But I think what I was seeing when the kids got released back into the hockey world, they almost wanted to make up for a year of no training and do it all in like a week. And I think that's where some of these kids have gotten hurt, where they just overtrained trying to catch up. Like, you can't do a year of training in a week. I don't know if the parents and the kids, understand just the physiology of gaining muscle back and gaining stamina back. And you can't just go out and say, okay, well, like, it's like all of us, right? If you go out and say, oh, I'm going to get in shape January 1st and go for a 7-mile run, and then you can't run for another week and a half. So I think
when you say they're overtraining, you mean overtraining like in the gym, or overtraining
mostly on the ice? They all of a sudden they're on the ice for like an hour. Like I've seen coaches like, oh no, I got 2 hours of ice for this kid. I go, 2 hours? I said, maybe like 40 minutes. Let him go. And then let him go for a run, or let him go for, they can stick handle at home, but you're going to put them on the ice for 2 hours a day thinking you're going to catch them up. And that's, I think I don't see overuse injuries. I see those little nagging injuries, the groin, or the kid's back, or kids having trouble with his joints, or especially for me, I work with mostly teenagers. So, those 12, 13, 14-year-old boys that are just, they don't know what the hell's going on, and they're growing, and then they're trying to overtrain within that window. It really makes it hard.